Angela Rayner has long been known for her tendency to make a spectacle of herself on national television, and it's no secret that the Labour government has been mired in controversy and deceit since day one. However, this particular video of Angela Rayner is truly something else. In today's segment, we'll be delving into a clip where Angela Rayner speaks with such unshakable conviction, despite the glaring inaccuracies in her statements, that it has sparked widespread humiliation on a global scale. Her words, delivered with a straight face and an air of authority, have drawn sharp criticism, not only for their content but for the audacity with which they were presented. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the lack of accountability that has become all too familiar within the current political landscape. Alongside this, we will also take a closer look at the latest developments from across the nation, offering a comprehensive overview of the issues shaping the country today. Stay tuned as we unpack it all. In late July, Angela Rayner branded Nigel Farage a conspiracy theorist for raising questions about the Southport terror attack. As Deputy Prime Minister, it is highly likely she was fully aware that Farage's concerns were not baseless. Reports later revealed that the government had access to critical information, including details from an Al-Qaeda manual, which they deliberately withheld from the public under the pretext of avoiding community tensions. This revelation has cast serious doubt on Rayner's credibility. In a now infamous interview, she was seen brazenly denying any wrongdoing while gaslighting the audience, asserting that no conclusions should be drawn without full facts. Ironically, her comments served to deflect responsibility and dismiss valid concerns. She accused Farage of opportunism, claiming he piggybacked on tragedies to promote a nationalist agenda. Yet her critique failed to address the core issue, the government's obligation to provide transparency. This incident underscores a broader failure of leadership, exposing the dangers of spin over substance.
The real concern for me with this, and it's happening time and time again now as well, is that before the facts are known, even before the family and the victims know the facts, people are jumping to conclusions. Now, can you imagine if you're in those circles? You want the answers, you want to know, why is this happening?
But also imagine your horror, your most desperate moment of your life being piggybacked by people in order to cause trouble. Now, I think it's pretty clear that one of the people doing the piggybacking was Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage put out a statement online yesterday, and as ever, when he does this, he skirts around the hard language, but he speaks in a code that his supporters understand, that anyone with ears and a brain understands. And the code is, I'm making this about me, I'm making this about immigration, I'm making this about fight for your country, all of that kind of language, that nationalistic and worse language. He's a race baiter, isn't he?
I just think I've had my issues with Nigel Farage. In previous elections, you can find footage of me taking Nigel Farage on about that poster that he did that time, you know, trying to stir up
with the row of people behind him.
With the row of people trying to stir up problems and troubles. And
he's an MP now.
I know, and that is the point really. As a member of Parliament, he must understand that you have a level of responsibility. You're a community leader. You're elected to represent your constituency, and therefore you have a level of responsibility with that. And it's not to stoke up what conspiracy theories or what you think might have happened or lean it into what you think. Actually, there's a responsibility to say the police are doing a difficult job. Local authorities, all of the services that are on the ground, we want to establish facts as soon as possible, and we have a responsibility to hold the community together and say, let's get the facts and then let's look at what the actual solutions are and what we can do about the horrific situation that we find ourselves in, not to stir up these, fake news online. And I think that that's really painful for people who are in those circumstances as well, that are caught up in a trauma that instantly happened. They suddenly, their whole world has changed. They need the support of the family liaison officers. They need the police to be talking to them first. And they need the support of those agencies. That what they don't need to do is see online that what's happened to them is somehow being debated about what could have been or couldn't have been.
Is it time to look at the legitimacy of the English Defence League? The police said before these events, and they've said...
The resurfaced clip of Angela Rayner has reignited widespread frustration and disbelief among the public. Many are pointing out that, as Deputy Prime Minister, she would have been thoroughly briefed, making her denials and deflections all the more inexcusable. One user lamented, "I cannot believe I'm even saying this, but Rayner is actually our deputy PM. Another echoed a growing sentiment, referencing the popular meme that the only thing separating a conspiracy theory from the truth is about 6 months, which feels eerily accurate in this case. The outrage continues, with some labeling her conduct as beyond words and others highlighting Labour's pattern of dishonesty, with one remarking, "Labour is always happy to lie. How can anyone trust them?" The sentiment of betrayal runs deep, especially among those who feel the government prioritizes its image over accountability. Comments like "same old Labour," "lies, lies, and more lies" reflect a widespread disillusionment. For many, the tipping point came when real tragedies, involving children's lives, were met with what they perceive as evasions and half-truths. The call for change is louder than ever, with voices demanding Starmer's resignation as a necessary step forward. The question remains, how long can this lack of trust in leadership persist before the cracks become irreparable? A tragic incident in Birmingham has sent shockwaves through the community, as a 14-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of murdering a 12-year-old child. The victim, found with severe injuries near Scriber Lane in Hall Green, was rushed to hospital but, tragically, succumbed to his wounds. The West Midlands Police have launched an intensive investigation, reviewing CCTV footage and appealing to witnesses for information. They have also urged the public to share any photos or videos of the incident via the Major Incident Public Portal, MPP, a dedicated platform for gathering evidence in cases of this nature. This heartbreaking event has reignited concerns about the growing prevalence of knife crime among young people in the UK. It serves as a grim reminder of the devastating consequences of youth violence, sparking urgent discussions about the effectiveness of current legislation aimed at preventing such tragedies. Under existing laws in England and Wales, the sale of knives with fixed blades longer than 3 inches to individuals under 18 is prohibited, and retailers face potential fines or prosecution if found in violation. However, these measures have been criticised for falling short, with many arguing they are insufficient to address the scale of the problem. The incident occurred on the same day that MPs were briefed on the ineffectiveness of the current knife sale ban, highlighting the urgent need for stronger measures. The Home Secretary, addressing the Commons, cited the case of Axel Ruda Cubana, a 17-year-old with a history of violent offences who was able to purchase a knife online with alarming ease. This has fueled calls for stricter regulations on the sale of knives, particularly through online platforms, where age verification processes are often inadequate or easily circumvented. Detective Inspector Joe Davenport from the West Midlands Police Major Crime Unit emphasised the urgency of the investigation, stating that officers are working tirelessly to understand the circumstances surrounding the incident. "We are reviewing all available CCTV footage, speaking to witnesses, and analysing evidence to ensure we can deliver justice for the victim and their family," Davenport said. The force has also deployed specially trained officers to support the grieving family, ensuring they receive the care and guidance needed during this unimaginable time. The wider community is grappling with the shock and grief caused by this senseless act of violence. Parents, teachers, and local leaders are calling for a unified response to tackle the root causes of youth crime, from better education on the dangers of carrying knives to increased support for at-risk youth. Community leaders have also urged the government to invest more in preventive measures, such as youth outreach programs and local policing initiatives, to address the underlying issues contributing to such incidents. This tragedy underscores the pressing need for society to come together to protect its most vulnerable members. While new legislation can help close the loopholes that enable such crimes, it is clear that addressing the issue of youth violence requires a holistic approach, involving not only stricter laws but also education, support, and a collective commitment to change. The people of Birmingham, and indeed the entire nation, mourn the loss of a young life cut short and demand decisive action to prevent such heartbreak from happening again. The Home Secretary, AET Cooper, has reignited the debate around knife crime legislation following the shocking revelation that Axel Ruda Cubana, the perpetrator of the Southport attack, was able to purchase a knife on Amazon despite being underage and having a history of violent offences. This case has exposed significant flaws in the current system, where online platforms fail to adequately enforce age restrictions, allowing potentially dangerous individuals to access weapons with ease. Addressing Parliament, Cooper described the situation as a complete disgrace and vowed to introduce stricter measures as part of the upcoming Crime and Policing Bill. This incident has underscored the urgent need for reform. Under existing legislation, it is illegal to sell knives with fixed blades longer than 3 inches to individuals under 18, with penalties ranging from fines to prosecution for retailers who breach these rules. However, the digital marketplace has presented unique challenges in enforcing these laws. Cooper highlighted how online platforms often rely on inadequate or easily circumvented age verification processes, creating dangerous loopholes. She argued that these platforms must be held accountable for their role in enabling access to weapons and stressed the need for a more robust regulatory framework. The forthcoming crime and policing bill is expected to include measures that address these shortcomings. Proposals under discussion include mandatory and verifiable age checks for all online knife sales, stricter penalties for non-compliance, and greater oversight to ensure that digital marketplaces follow the same standards as physical retailers. Cooper also emphasized the need for improved coordination between law enforcement, retailers, and community organizations to tackle the broader issue of knife crime. The case of Cubana has become a focal point in the campaign for reform, not only because of the tragic consequences of his actions but also due to the preventable nature of the crime. Critics have pointed out that had the online sale been blocked, the attack might never have occurred. This has added pressure on lawmakers to act swiftly and decisively. Campaigners against knife crime, including victims' families and advocacy groups, have expressed their support for Cooper's promises but remain skeptical about the government's ability to deliver meaningful change. Many argue that previous measures have fallen short, citing a lack of enforcement and insufficient resources allocated to tackling the issue. Beyond legislative changes, Cooper has called for a cultural shift in how society approaches knife crime. She emphasized the importance of education, particularly for young people, about the dangers of carrying weapons and the devastating impact knife violence has on communities. Schools, community groups, and local authorities are being urged to play a more active role in prevention, focusing on early intervention and support for at-risk youth. The issue of knife crime is deeply rooted in social and economic factors, including poverty, inequality, and a lack of opportunities for young people in certain areas. Experts agree that while legislation is a crucial part of the solution, it must be complemented by investment in community programs, youth outreach initiatives, and local policing. Cooper acknowledged this complexity, stating that laws alone cannot solve the problem. We need to address the conditions that drive young people towards crime in the first place. The announcement of these proposed measures has sparked a national conversation, with many calling for urgent action to close the gaps in the current system. However, others remain cautious, pointing out that without proper funding and enforcement mechanisms, even the most well-intentioned laws risk becoming symbolic gestures rather than effective solutions. As the crime and policing bill progresses through Parliament, all eyes will be on the government to see if it can deliver on its promises and take meaningful steps to prevent further tragedies like the one in Southport. The stakes could not be higher. Knife crime continues to devastate families and communities across the country, and public confidence in the government's ability to tackle the issue is waning. The challenge now is to ensure that these proposed reforms do not just address the symptoms of the problem but also tackle its root causes. Only then can we hope to see a significant and lasting reduction in the prevalence of knife crime in the UK. Princess Kate has shared the uplifting news of her remission from cancer, marking the end of what has been a profoundly challenging journey for her and her family. In her first solo engagement since 2023, she visited the Royal Marston Hospital in London, the same facility where she underwent her chemotherapy treatments. The visit was deeply symbolic, not only highlighting her gratitude for the care she received, but also reinforcing her commitment to raising awareness about cancer treatment and recovery. A close source described her journey as far more difficult than many had anticipated, shedding light on the resilience and strength she displayed throughout. Kate has spoken candidly about adjusting to her new normal, acknowledging that the road to recovery is both a physical and emotional process. While the word remission brings hope and relief, it also signals a time of reflection and adaptation. As a source close to the royal family noted, Kate has drawn a line under the hardships of the past year and is now focused on moving forward. For her, this means prioritizing her role as a mother and wife, placing her family at the center of her life as she eases back into her royal duties. The Princess of Wales has made it clear that her family, Prince William and their 3 children, remains her top priority. She has expressed a desire to maintain a balanced approach to her responsibilities, continuing to serve the public while ensuring that her health and personal well-being are not overlooked. Her gradual return to royal engagements will reflect a pace similar to the one she established in late 2024, allowing her to find equilibrium between her public role and her private life. Her visit to the Royal Marston Hospital was also an opportunity to connect with patients currently undergoing treatment, offering them words of encouragement and solidarity. It was a poignant reminder of her ongoing dedication to causes related to healthcare and the well-being of others. Kate's experiences have undoubtedly deepened her understanding of the challenges faced by those battling cancer, and she has vowed to use her platform to advocate for improvements in care and support systems. The public response to her announcement has been overwhelmingly positive, with messages of support pouring in from across the nation and beyond. People have praised her courage, resilience, and determination, seeing her as an inspiration for anyone facing similar struggles. Her openness about her journey has not only raised awareness but also provided hope to countless individuals navigating their own battles with illness. As Kate enters this new chapter, she embodies a sense of optimism and purpose that resonates deeply with her supporters. Her ability to balance her royal duties with her personal challenges has further endeared her to the public, solidifying her role as a compassionate and relatable figure within the royal family. This milestone in her recovery serves as a testament to her strength and the unwavering support of her loved ones. What are your thoughts on today's discussions? Do you feel inspired by Princess Kate's journey and her approach to balancing family, health, and public service? Share your opinions in the comments section below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates on British news and stories. Thank you for tuning in, and take care. Goodbye.